Hello, 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 my beautiful people out there. How you all doing? As for me, no need in complaining. It gets your girl nowhere. I want to say welcome back to Life of Sunshine on Wheels, the talk show. Today we have a very special guest, and he's a very strong, very intelligent young man. And he was sharing a story with me that I cannot wait for him to share with you all. But before he starts, I want to share a little bit of Neil's journey. Neil, he's 36. At birth, he weighed 2 point, I'm sorry, at birth, he was 2.5 months premature and was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, also known as CP. After losing oxygen to his brain, it also left him legally blind. During his childhood, he believed there would be a treatment that would help him entirely, but it wasn't until he was a bit older that he realized that it's who he is. It's who he is, and it's okay with it. He would like to thank his mom's perseverance for her persevering, the research that was tried, the many treatments. Also, he even flew to Tijuana, Mexico for stem cells, but had no success. Although the treatments didn't work, Neil still was a very active, healthy, and loved man. Throughout his life, he's met many new friends who he's been close with for many years, and including many firefighters from his late father's station who always checks in on him. And that is very important. So that's a great support system you have there. As well as Neil has learned how to swim by floating on his back. Neil, you have grown up interested in finger painting, wrestling with your brother, and different types of music. You're a big fan of the 90s pop, 80s love songs, and R&B. Neil has some good music taste, you all. And you know what, Neil? I want you to share your journey with us. Let's have a great conversation. Okay, Neil?
Okay, very well.
Awesome. So, Neil, share with us about how living with CP has changed your life.
Well, it's 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 definitely it's it's definitely taught me patience. That's for sure, and it's definitely helped. It definitely has helped me try to understand other people's struggles as well as my own, and it's taught me that even though people try to understand what we go through on a daily basis and say, I know what it's like for you. It's not that they don't try to understand, but we are unique ourselves with disabilities, but people can only understand up to a certain point because they aren't us. We are ourselves only.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you 100%, Neil. And that's another reason for this show because a lot of people do not understand us. So it's important that we show and teach others about us and share our lives to help others. I think so, Neil.
Yes, yes.
Oh. So Neil, okay, I was reading your bio and you have support. What do your support system consist of?
What do you mean by that, Shauna?
Yes, like your caregivers, your family, your friends. What do that consist of, and how is that support system helping you to keep staying strong, to keep positive, and not giving up?
Well, I I live with my mom. I have a brother and a sister. They they are both married with children now. But the one blessing in disguise about my disability and my family is that they they both have stayed local. My and they really do what they can every Sunday my brother comes and gets me up and takes me to to mass, and helps my mom with stuff around the house. And there my sister has two children, Dylan and Fiona, ages almost 11 and 9. And then my brother Michael has one son, Finn. And I have to say, um, even our younger generation, even from a very young age, they were very accepting of me, and
Mm.
they they love me very much as I love them.
Absolutely. So it sounds to me, Neil, that support you have with your family, it's very important and it helps you to keep on going.
Yes, and also I have four I have four young girls that take turns taking care of me. I used to have older people, but they I found that for certain reasons, after I had to let the last one go in 2014 for certain reasons, I decided that I needed to have people that were around my age. One of the reasons being was we would have more in common, and like I said at the start of this, uh, when I'm with them, I can sort of just be myself and
Mhm.
forget about my issues for a period of time, and actually feel 36, because sometimes it's not always easy to feel your age when you need some like physical care. And I don't mean to complain. I know that the show is about positivity and everything.
No, you are okay, and you're absolutely right. Because Neil, I agree with you that it is good to have, not that we have anything against caregivers that are older and much more mature, but we do prefer, some of us do prefer caregivers that's around our age, so that it's someone that can relate to us. There are people that can relate to us as far as what's going on in the world today, our age. And sometimes those caregivers that are younger, they do make us feel like we're well, we are okay, but they just make us feel like we're a part of something, and they don't look at it as us living with disabilities, if that makes sense to you, Neil.
Yes, it definitely does. I have had younger helpers in the past that have moved on, but I still keep in touch with a lot of them, and I really, I really love, I really love my younger caregivers almost as if they are family. One particular one has been with me for almost 9 years now.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Awesome. Now, Neil, also in your bio, I was reading here that you're a very religion man and you're involved with the Catholic faith and parish, but you stated here that you wanted to be a firefighter because you admired your dad so much, and you always believed that you were meant to be a priest. And when you stated about your dad, that touched me. I know the love that you have for your dad was amazing, and you wanted to be just like him. And in your story, you stated that your dad has firefighters from where he used to work that would come and check in on you. How important is that relationship is with those firefighters that come and check in on you?
It's 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 very important because you know I have stayed in touch with one particular firefighter. Well, my dad was a fire lieutenant for 6 years, and it's so amazing now because a lot of my best friends now that work there did not even know my dad, and most of the people that do that knew my dad are either promoted to different ranks now, or have
Okay.
retired, and so it's so amazing that through the Firehouse family, so many of my friends now did not even know my father, and yet I of them and they of me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Awesome. Now, being a priest, and you say you feel like you're meant to do it to be a priest. What gave you that calling? What made you want to pursue to be a priest?
Because I wanted I wanted to be there for people in
Mhm.
their suffering and let them know that they are not alone, and it's it's strange because I remember being at the place that I volunteer at, and it was All Souls Day, and the priest was talking about how in his younger years somebody had asked him something along the lines of how could you continuously do all these burials, all these wake services, and things of that nature? And he said, well, look at it this way. At least in their suffering, I am there to be there for them.
Mm. Yes, that's truly important because those that are suffering, those that may have loved ones that passed away, those that may have be dealing with some hard issues in life, or maybe those that may be living with a disability. And sometimes we do still grieve because we have disabilities. It's very important to have a person like you, Neil, in their lives and our lives to show that one, you have compassion for others, two, you love other people, and three, you want to help them to not feel bad or to grieve a lot because you're a very caring and compassionate person. And I love that, Neil. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I also want people to know that while they can talk about their problems, some of them have to be kind of careful about who they talk with sometimes, because
Mhm.
some people might automatically go into, well, be grateful for this, be grateful for that, and believe me, Shauna, I mean, I am mostly happy in life, but sometimes
Mhm.
some some days I just have I just have really tough days, as we all do. So sometimes
Yes.
you just have to know that somebody is gonna be there who is not automatically going to go into, you know, the platitude type of stuff right away.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right, Neil. And my grandmom used to say, she was a pastor, she used to say, be careful who you share information with because you may have some that really love you and care about you, but then you may have some that will try to use that against you. So you have to be careful who you share information with. So I agree with you 100%, Neil.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Now, Neil, you were sharing a story before the show started about the school that you went to and how there were other people talking about those with a disability. Can you share that story with us here now?
Absolutely. Um, I went to a school called Henry Biscardi School. It's in Alberton, Long Island, and it was on a normal grade level, but a certain number of the students had medical issues. Um, a certain number of them actually died young. Some were expected to die. Others kind of surprised us. But the main point I was making before was this: some of them would get talked about right behind their backs with them sitting there in their wheelchairs, and some of them were nonverbal. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, they they might not be able to respond, but they sure as heck can hear this.
That's absolutely true, Neil. Absolutely true. And how did that make you feel, Neil? And did you speak up or did you want to speak up?
There were a few times that I did want to speak up, but sometimes, sometimes some of the adults could be mean, so I didn't want to get in trouble and then get suspended or in trouble. So as hard as it was, all you can do is hope the best for the person who got spoke to, because sometimes it's worth it to say something, other times it's not. Shauna?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I lost you for a second.
No, I'm sorry now. My phone, I'm at the computer, just got stuck on mute. I'm not sure why. But Neil, what type of information, positive information, you can share with someone that may be experiencing hearing people say bad things about them?
that that they only know they only know certain things about us. They don't know what's in our heart or what we go through on a daily basis. And I used to I used to think that, you know, to I used to think how dare somebody says that, but now that I'm older, I can tell you this. Let people think what they want to think, but just be just be yourself.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of us need to know that no matter what anyone says, continue to be yourself and do not allow them to take you down. Do not allow them to make you feel bad about yourself or your situation, whether you live with a disability or not. Do not allow what someone says negative things to you to get the best of you.
Yeah, and also
Oh,
even if you can't even if you can't do it immediately, sometimes stand up to people and say, "Hey, I didn't like the other day or like last night, for example, when you said this, when you said that."
mhm. Okay. Well, Neil, we have some guests, some people here in the chat, and I'm going to read some of the messages. We have Miss Josie who says hi. Hi, Miss Josie. Thank you very much for tuning in. Then we have Kimberly Johnson Carter. She says, "Hi guys, we are here." That's a couple that live with they live with a disability. They also both have CP. And we have Miss Rhonda who says here, "Hello," and that's right. And then we also have Golda who says, "Very true." And I want to tell you all, thank you very much for tuning in to the show with our guest, Neil. Now, Neil, have you ever faced a challenge that you thought it would be hard for you to break it, hard to get away with it, away from it, but yet you were able to get out of that situation?
Can can you can you explain it kind of differently? I'm not really sure what you mean by that.
Absolutely. Yes, Neil. Have you ever experienced something that was so hard that you didn't know what to do, but you found a way to fix that hard problem?
Um, yes, when I was in when I was in I have many of them. I rather not go into all of them, of course, but when I
Okay.
when I when I was in when I was in the 10th grade, I actually had to fire an 8 on my own, and that was the first time that I parted ways with a helper on my own, and it was it was hard to do, but I knew I had to do it, and it and other things in life have taught me that sometimes in life you have to, persevere, and you have to face up to something. You can't always just be like too too scared or worried about the repercussions. And believe me, viewers, I know how I know how easy it is because I there are times I just want to not do something.
Hmm. Yes. You know what, Neil? I want to tell you, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes, although we may not like it, and sometimes we may feel as though we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but I can relate to you when you say that you had to let a caregiver go. And yet it was hard, but it was something that you had to do. And I can agree with that experience because I too had to let a caregiver go. Although the caregiver was a good caregiver, but there were some things that I just couldn't tolerate. And I would go back and forth, Neil, and I would struggle with I don't want to let the caregiver go because the caregiver does this well. But if I let the caregiver go, who's going to care for me? Will I get another caregiver like that caregiver? So I struggled with those situations, Neil. But then I learned that I would have to put myself first
Yes,
and make sure that I am okay. And if that means that I have to let a caregiver go in order to make sure that I am okay, then that's what I had to do. So I had to advocate for myself, Neil, and I had to let that caregiver go because it wouldn't did me any good if I would allow that caregiver to continue to be with me. So Neil, I can agree and I do relate with you.
and can I ask you a question?
Sure, Neil, yes.
When when you made that decision to let that person go, how did they take it? Was there like an argument or anything of that matter?
Well, Neil, nope, there was no argument or anything like that. What I did was I had told the caregiver that I think I want to make some changes and I feel as though that I need to go in another direction as far as getting a different caregiver here that will be able to do the hours that I need to be done because the caregiver would be like an hour and a half late for her shift and then she wouldn't stay to make up during that time, that she missed out on. So therefore, I felt as though that I had to let her go. I let her know where I was coming from, and then the agency that she worked for spoke with her and let her know what her last day was going to be, and she was okay with it. She stated that she respected my choice and she understands.
Yes, I have a self-directed program where I get to hire my own help, and then they they have to get on my payroll because I'm on Medicaid, and well, it's a real pain in the butt to get on the payroll. It can take weeks sometimes, but the reason why I like my self-direct program is because if I went through an agency, number one, you don't really get to pick who comes in. Number two, aside from basic needs,
Mhm.
they aren't responsible to, get you out or take you for a walk or anything of that nature.
Okay, okay. So I get where you're coming from. You have the caregiver that you get to interview yourself. You get to see if that caregiver would be a good fit a good fit for you versus having an agency that will pick a caregiver out and have that caregiver come into your home. And then you may have that caregiver from the agency that can't do everything or only allowed to do certain things. And I get where you're coming from, Neil.
Yeah, and also this is whenever I interview another person, one of the first questions I ask is, "What makes you think you might be able to do this job?" Because I want them to at least have an idea about what they are getting themselves into. One of my one of my helpers, the one who has been with me for 9 years, one of the many one of the many reasons I have always liked her in a certain way, especially, is that he was honest right from the start. He said, "Well, while I have a handicapped cousin in my native country, I haven't had experience with this, but I am going to give it a try." And almost 9 years later, we have had our ups and downs without a doubt, like any caregiver, any friend do. But we have always come back to how much we care for one another, and my other three too. In certain ways, they are wonderful people to begin with, and in certain ways, I love them all.
Oh wow, awesome, Neil. We have a comment here from someone that's watching. Yanka, I hope I'm saying her name right. And she says, "Happy I made it to watch this great talk show. Good job, Neil."
Yes, that woman's name is
Thank you
Yonka.
very much.
She's
Now,
been,
Neil, I have to ask you a question.
yeah,
I want to know, what would you tell your younger self today?
that that as long as you persevere, you can get through something, and also let people think what they want to think. But you know, again, you're the one going through it. They might be going through it with you, but they aren't facing it in the way that you are facing it.
Mm, yes, absolutely. I like that, Neil. I like that a lot. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Now, Neil, of course, I have another question for you. What encouragement would you give to those out there that are living with a disability of any kind? What encouragement would you give to them?
that we are still people, and that even if we do have very big limitations, we were put on this earth for a certain mission, and if we can be advocates for each other, just like with doctors, how we sometimes have to be our own advocates, we have to, be our own advocates, because we can't we
Mm.
can't let people just, you know, like try to control us or tell us what we should do, or get over on us per se.
Okay, Neil, that's right. Absolutely right. Now, Neil, before I let you go, I want to ask you, I read that you volunteered with retired nuns. How was that experience?
It's 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 been very beautiful. It's different. It's different now because I've been doing that since 2011, and a lot of my friends that I have loved and everything have passed away. But also because of my volunteer thing, I I am a pastoral care volunteer through that place, Wartburg, and also because of that, I am a pastoral care volunteer, so I am trained to visit with the sick, pray with them if they will allow me, and
Mm.
my friend Yanko, who's watching tonight, said something to me once that I never forgot in terms of the pastoral care stuff. I said to her once, it's very hard to, sometimes have to pray over my my dying friends or people from the Wartburg that I have known for years. And she said, I know it's hard, but let me tell you something. When you pray over them, it's not just a random person or a priest coming in. It's somebody who's attended mass with them, who has gurneys with them, and who loves them.
Yes. Yes, she's absolutely right. Because someone, although they're no longer here with us and you're praying over them, you knew them. You loved them, you cared for them, and she's absolutely right, Neil. That's beautiful that you're able to do that, pray over them, pray with others, and help cancel others. So that's really amazing, Neil. Neil, how long have you wanted to be a pastor or priest?
It was funny when I was in when I was in 11th grade. I wanted to be a family court judge, but then after a while, I decided that that would be too emotional for me. So then then I returned to the Catholic Church after many years of being away, and I I don't know when it was, but I just I just wanted to be a priest for many years, probably since young adulthood.
Wow, you know what? That's an amazing journey to be upon. Neil, do you know how wonderful and amazing that is to be a priest and want to go out and help others and pray for others and give guidance and leadership and want to be there for other people? So, Neil, I think you are a selfless person, and that means you care for others and you want the best for others and you're willing to help those that needs it the most.
Thank you, Sean, and thanks for this interview, and most of all, thank you for letting me be honest about a couple of things, because sometimes I was a bit nervous about this interview in the sense that I might say something that might get on somebody's nerve or your nerve. So thank you for having me be myself.
You're absolutely welcome, Neil. Nope, you did an amazing job. And that's what I want. When the guests come on the show, I want them to be themselves. I want them to be honest and share their journey.
Thank you. Well, I hope you and I can stay in pretty close contact. You're an amazing person, and thank you for helping the special needs community.
You're welcome, Neil. Yes, we have to stay in contact with each other, Neil. And also, Neil, I would say that I would like to have you back on again on the show.
Okay, I would be more than I would be more than happy, especially now that I have had this experience.
Absolutely, Neil. Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, we have another person here. Her name is Imani, and she says hello. Thank you very much, Imani, for tuning in to the show. Now, Neil, I'm going to let you go. If someone wants to speak with you or if someone wants to interview you for their show, how can they contact you?
Okay, they can contact me on Facebook. It's just Neil Burke, and they will see, Westchester County, and they will see my Bayou Mount Vernon and such. And then also my email is blackcloud97@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, Neil, once again, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show. And I'm going to put your information in the comment section for those that want to reach out to you.
Okay, thank you, Shauna. Many blessings, and thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you. And many blessings to you, Neil.
All right, bye now. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye. Thank you. All right, my beautiful people out there. I want to say first thank you to Neil for being a part of the show today and sharing his journey and his love for being a volunteering priest. I want to say once again, thank you all so much for your love and support. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please email sunshineonwheelz with a Z, not an S, at gmail.com. If you would like to see the replay, you can go over to YouTube, Life of Sunshine on Wheels. All right, you all, I want to say have a blessed night, stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.